so many procedural challenges being placed in the path of this process. This is a simple process, and I want you all as reporters to understand something. That every time the substantive issue of these bills was to be discussed, the minority ran away. When I brought a motion to the House, I preempted this. I brought a motion to the House some months ago. You know what the motion said in effect? Listen, there is already a Tobago House of Assembly process which is going to lead to bills coming to the House, eventually going to Cabinet. Therefore, let us as the Tobago House of Assembly tell the central government that it is counterproductive to place in the public domain at the same time another set of documents which is going to lead to the green paper. Now, is there anything more reasonable than that? What happened? The minority did not debate that. They came to the House knowing that the only reasonable position they could have taken was in fact to agree with that position. They came to the House, made a big statement, totally irrelevant to the motion which I was bringing, focusing on a procedural issue, a perceived procedural issue, did not debate the substantive issue, which is still relevant, and ran away. The bills come to the House now, the real bills. Instead of coming to the House and in effect debating the bills and comparing those bills where we said there were 7 significant substantive differences between the bills and the green paper, they run away again. They come back to the House a third time. The presiding officer says, "Hail, I am prepared to stand down the decisions and to use the powers in the standing orders to give you an opportunity to speak." They could have spoken on anything. They could have spoken on the bills. They could have spoken on why they're not supporting the bills. They could have lambasted anybody. They ran away again. Because, and you got to understand the reality, Mr. Jack has a credibility problem. Mr. Jack told the people of Tobago in the run-up to the 2010 election that the reason why I am taking Tobago, TOP into the arms of the PP is because they have promised internal self-government. But Mr. Jack should have recognized, and he should have known, and the people of Tobago know, that at the time when he was doing that, the process towards internal self-government was already in train. If Mr. Jack buys into the Tobago House of Assembly process now, the legitimate question can be asked, why did you give away Tobago for something that you already had? And that is his dilemma. Mr. Jack cannot latch on to this process because he let it go in order to go and join the PP. And therefore his political credibility and his political future are linked to him disassociating himself from this process. And as unreasonable and as irrational and as illogical as it might be, he has no choice. So when his handlers tell him that he cannot come to the House, he has no choice but to stay away. That's the reality.